Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to play with some new makeup and new brushes. I'm really excited about this. We're in the luxe territory with this video. We've got Sonia G and we've got Eldridge. I'm going to go through the brushes first because I want to explain them, and these are the tools that I'm going to use to then apply the Eldridge products. So these guys released very recently. There is 5 brushes in the series. It's called the Fusion series, and these brushes are specifically designed to be used with creams. You can obviously use them with powders as well if you want to, but you're going to get a different type of application because these are quite dense, and you know, they've been designed to be used with creams using like buffing motions and things like that. So I picked up 3 of the brushes in the set. I got the classic base brush, I got the mini base brush, and I got the soft concealer brush. The other brushes in this collection are the jumbo base and the jumbo concealer brushes. I opted to pass on those ones because I felt like this little trio was perfect for the way I like to apply my makeup, and I have a little face, so I could get away with these guys. The hair composition of these brushes is a mixture of synthetic and natural hairs. So they consist of goat hairs and 2 types of synthetic hairs. There's PTT and PBT, and basically when you have a mixture of natural and synthetic hairs, it just works better for creams and liquids basically, as opposed to a straight like full natural hairbrush, or in some cases a completely synthetic brush as well. Now I'm going to leave a link to Sonia G's website, a specific post that she made about these brushes, because she goes very deep into the science behind it, and you know, comparing them to other brushes, you know, in her own range, and you know, other brushes that are made by different brands. And I honestly feel like she's going to be able to explain it in that post much better than I ever could. And I just want to get to using the brushes. So if you want to read more about them, there will be a link down in the description box for you. However, I still do want to give some of my first impression thoughts on these brushes. So basically what I have here is like a small, medium, large version of the same brush, which I kind of love. We have the classic base, which is the largest of the brushes. Because this is the largest one, the bristles don't have as much flexibility and movement as the mini base or the soft concealer brush. These brushes are very dense, which makes me think these are going to give a really beautiful smooth application, and the hairs are super soft, which just it's one of those things about natural hair brushes, you just can't go past the softness. Okay, let's talk about Eldridge. So when I saw that she was launching liquid highlights and liquid blushes, I was pretty excited. I have become someone who really enjoys liquid and cream products. In the past, it's not been something that I have gravitated towards because I had oily skin. Now I am more normal to dry, depending on how good I am with my skincare routine, the weather, and sometimes my skin just likes to crack the shits basically, and I just find creams and liquids, my skin just responds so much better to them. So I was really excited. I stayed up late, I made my order when everything launched, and I've got my goodies. So I picked up the Elevated Glow in Crystal Nebula. This is the lightest shade in the range. It's described as a light golden champagne, and the claims around the product is that it's designed to add an amplified luminous glow to the high points of the face while simultaneously delivering some serious skincare benefits and a subtle lifting, tightening, and smoothing effect. So it's supposed to be a makeup and skincare hybrid product. That part of the description really excites me. I'm like, yes, lift and tighten, please and thank you. I am going to apply this directly to my skin. I haven't put anything else on, and I'm going to put it under my base because I'm keen to see how this simply looks on the skin on its own. I'm using the mini base brush to blend this in. Oh gosh, that is very pretty, and it's definitely very glowy. The base color of it is sheer. I feel like it's either basically my skin tone or the base is very, very transparent, because it's not leaving like a colored base basically on my skin, which means it would definitely be wearable on its own. A lot of that might have been a bit too much on my forehead, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll have a glowy day. A lot of the highlights that I own, which are mostly powder to be honest, they seem to have like a colored base of some sort, whether it be sort of gold or peachy or pink. There's not many that are truly transparent that just offer a glow. And I really don't have many that have like a beige base or a base that's like the color of my skin tone. So wearing them on their own is actually very difficult to do. I feel like I could get away with it wearing this one on its own. I would definitely apply less. I have applied a lot of this product. I feel like a little bit definitely can go a long way. Those birds outside are being super obnoxious, but you know, I feel like they're living their best life, so we'll just put up with them. That is beautiful. I don't know if it's lifting and tightening, but you know, I think it looks gorgeous. Now I've put on quite a bit because I do want to see how this looks when I apply foundation over it. I am going to apply foundation over the top, and then, you know, we can see what that looks like. And if I want more, I can apply it over the top of the foundation as well. But without further ado, let's do that. I'm going to use a L'Oreal Pro Glow Infallible Foundation, and I'm going to use the Sonia G Classic Base to apply. So what I'm noticing with this brush is that it spreads product beautifully. The whole point of having a natural and synthetic hair blend brush is that it doesn't absorb as much product as, say, a full natural hair brush would, but it gives you a smoother blend basically. It really helps the foundation or the product that you're applying to melt in with the skin, and you don't get any of those sort of brush streak marks that you might get from some of the not so great synthetic brushes. You can definitely get synthetic brushes that don't do that though. I'd say I've used about a third of the product that I would usually use if I was applying this foundation with a sponge, and it just looks gorgeous on the skin. Really nice thin layer, and it doesn't look like heavy thick makeup. Also, highlight, she's still there for sure. I'm going to do a little bit of concealing using the Nebula close-up concealer, and of course the soft concealer brush. So I'm going to continue with the creams. This is the NARS Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream in the shade Laguna. I am going to use the classic base to basically do my whole face. Picking some up. I'm going to do one of these just to make sure I'm not going in too heavy, too quick. So I won't talk too much about the NARS bronzer. I know that I really like the formula. I find that it applies really easily, smooth, it blends beautifully, it's not patchy, all that jazz. But this brush is definitely making very, very light work of application. I really enjoy it. However, something to keep in mind, because these brushes are so dense, they are going to pick up quite a bit of product, especially if you're dipping it straight into the pot, but then they will also apply a lot of product. They are designed not to absorb too much product. They're designed to apply it to the face. So less is more with brushes like this, but that means you're going to get longevity out of your products. Okay, let's go in with blush. So I picked up the Enlivening blush in the shade Pink Soap. Now I personally find that getting the product out of this tube is actually really quite difficult. There's a lot of squeezing involved. You can get a very small amount out easily because of that, although I don't particularly think, maybe I just have weak hands, I don't know, but I find it difficult to get out, but it does allow you to dispense a small amount. Now I'm not a mega fan of pink blushes, but I really wanted to try one of these, and this was the lightest shade that they offered. The claims with this product are that it's a unique and innovative makeup skincare hybrid formula infused with skincare ingredients and blurring technology. It's supposed to impart the cheeks with a wonderfully believable, translucent, blushing from within effect. It is supposed to offer a skin-like finish that is neither too dewy or too matte. And it's recommended that you start with the tiniest dot and build to the intensity you desire using fingers or your regular foundation or skin brush. So I'm going to use my fingers to apply this to one side to see what I think, and I'm going to use the mini base brush, which I've spot cleaned to make sure there isn't any leftover highlight in there, to apply to the other side. Okay, so my thoughts here are that if you want a heavier or more blushy look, then apply with your fingers. If you want a super subtle look that you can, like, you have massive control over it, apply it with a brush. Start with the tiniest amount of product and then build it up to the effect that you want. The brush definitely does absorb a tiny bit of product, but of course when you're using your fingers, there's no absorption happening. You are literally transferring product from one part of your body to another. I have applied a very small amount of this blush. In person, this is more than enough blush for me. I like my blush to actually look like a natural skin flush. I don't like it to look like I'm wearing blush. I don't like heavily pigmented blushes, but for the sake of the video, since I feel like it is very subtle on camera, I am going to go ahead and apply a second layer of the blush. When I'm talking about getting a tiny amount of product, this is how much I have. I pop my brush in there like so, soften it up so that it's not, you know, centered anywhere heavily on the brush, and then I just stipple it on. So you can see there, it definitely does build. To me, that, like, I feel like I already look like a clown, but I really like how this blush allows such a subtle and definitely skin-like effect. So I will definitely be using this, but I honestly think it's going to be something that I reach for on like a daily basis, not for sitting in front of a camera, because I feel like in person it shines, and on camera it, like, you need to apply more of it, which is the case with any blush. But you know, that's why I don't really like wearing, I think that's why I don't like wearing blush, because I like a really soft, subtle application, and it doesn't come off well on camera. So, you know, there's that. It is what it is, but I really like that. I know I've got a few people who watch me who really, really like soft, subtle blushes like I do, and find them very difficult to find. I would say the Lisa Eldridge one might be one that you would like to consider, because it's pretty beautiful. So that's what I would consider a complete base. I do think I've lost a tiny bit of the highlight, but I feel like it's still there. The foundation that I'm wearing is dewy. Obviously the blush is meant to be not too dewy, not too matte, as I mentioned. Now, a base like this, I would happily just wear this out. I do, however, want to set it and then apply this guy over the top of a set base to see how it fares. I'm just going to use my CoverGirl Advanced Radiance powder, and I'm not using any of the Sonia G brushes to apply my face powder because that would be way too heavy. I am just going to use a Tom Ford No. 5 brush. Alright, we're all set, and I do feel like we've lost a tiny bit of that blush, so I'm going to reapply that along with the highlighter. And I'm just going to use the mini base brush for both jobs. God, this blush is kind of amazing. So at this point we've got quite a few layers there. We've got a layer of highlighter, a layer of foundation, a little bit of concealer, 2 layers of blush, and then a layer of powder. That's 5 layers of product on this area, and now I am applying another layer of blush. It is not lifting the foundation underneath or the powder. It's not getting chunky or looking gross. Whew, that's a nice formula. And it's interesting because I feel like initially when you squeeze this formula out, it looks quite thick and moussey, but when you apply it, it thins out a lot. It doesn't become watery or anything. It just really, like, I don't know, it becomes very skin-like. I definitely think she got that very, very right with the skin-like aspect. I do think, and I mentioned this before, I'm not a fan of pinky blushes. I don't think this color is very complimentary to me, but you know, it is what it is. I went with the one that she recommended for light skin tones, and if she brought out more that were more maybe peachy or even mauvey or more on the sort of nude beigey spectrum for people of my light coloring, I would be there with bells on when she launched them because I like the formula a lot. It's very easy to work with and it looks beautiful on the skin. Okay, let's do some highlight again. I'm going to apply this with the mini base brush, but this time I am going to pop it on the back of my hand rather than straight on my face. God, that is beautiful. That gives you kind of like a wet look. I don't know if it's, oh God, I don't know if it's like a combination of the formula or the pearl, the color of the pearl pigments, but that is just, I feel like that's the most perfect color for my skin. And the next thing I'm gonna do, and this is not a dig at the blush, but the next thing I'm gonna do is a base like this but without blush and just like highlighting the high points. I feel like the highlighter is like the absolute winner for me. It is so beautiful. Okay, I'm going to finish up my face. I'm just going to do some lashes and brows, and then I'll come back because I do have some lip products to play with. Okay, let's finish up this look. I have two of the, what are you called? Gloss Embrace lip glosses. I have Muse and I have Affair. Muse is sort of a mauvey shade. Affair is more of a warm nude. I am going to wear Affair today. I'm gonna put it, am I gonna do it completely over or? Look, I have one of the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lip crayons here. This is in the shade Noah. I think I might just align my lips with this and then put on the lip gloss. These glosses are a lot more opaque than I expected them to be, but they go on really smooth and beautifully. They're not sticky or thick, which is great, and they have a really cool little flexible doe foot, which is kind of fun, and it's a little bit paddle shaped almost, which is interesting. So that is the finished look using the Sonia G brushes and the Lisa Eldridge goodies. The highlight, my goodness, it's beautiful. It is absolutely so beautiful. When I purchased that one, I was like, I don't need another bloody highlighter. Like, I need a highlighter, like I need a hole in the head. But I knew I had to try it, especially when she was like, it offers, you know, lifting and firming properties. I don't know if it really has done that. Maybe it has a tiny bit and I just can't really notice it. But that aside, it is just gorgeous on its own. Like, it can hold its own. So, you know, I would highly recommend that one if you like a liquid highlight. The blush is also really beautiful. I am impressed with how it applied, especially over that set base with all of those layers already underneath there. It still doesn't look heavy or thick, and I did then apply highlight over the top of all of that as well. So I'm really, really impressed with that. And the lip gloss, look, I've used the lip gloss a few times and I already know that I love it. They're beautiful formula. And while that's quite opaque, often with opaque lip glosses, they're quite thick and they can be sticky. Not all of them are, but this one is quite thin. So you don't get that like gathering in the corners and the like pulling of product, which is really nice. As for the Sonia G brushes, look, I already knew that they would be amazing. Sonia G makes beautiful brushes, and I knew that it was a safe bet for me. If you are looking for some higher end brushes that you can use with cream products or liquids, this is definitely a collection to look out for. I personally feel like these 3 brushes are perfect for doing a full face essentially. Now, if you have a larger face, you might quite like the larger base brush, the larger concealer brush. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, that the blog post for the Sonia G webpage where she talks about these, she compares the brushes to sizes of other brushes that you might be familiar with. So you might get an idea there as to which brushes would suit you best. And that website did help me in like solidifying my choice with what I was going to purchase. These are beautiful, soft, lovely. I'm very happy to have them. God knows I don't need more brushes, but I can see those particular ones getting a lot of use because I am really enjoying liquids and creams at the moment. But I am mostly using sponges to apply them, and the reason why is because I do have textural issues, and also I'm finding that, you know, one day my skin is fine and the next day it's dry and flaky, and brushes can really accentuate that flakiness. And I don't have a great deal of the more higher end and what I personally consider better cream product brushes. Basically, most of the ones that I have are synthetic brushes from brands like Morphe, and I personally don't think that they apply creams all that well. I feel like they leave streaky like streak marks in products. So I tend to reach for my Hakuhodo, and I also have some from Refa that I like to use, although to be fair, the Refa ones, they aren't designed specifically to be used with creams. I like to break the rules there. But with these guys being a blend of synthetics and natural hair bristles, they're designed to withstand the test of time and to do that job particularly well. That's where they're meant to shine. So I'm really happy to have these, and to be honest, if she added to this range, I would be very, very keen to see what she's adding, because I would like to add more specifically designed cream and liquid brushes to my collection, because I feel like that's probably the one area where my brush collection is lacking. And God knows I will take any excuse to buy a new brush. Yes, please. Alright guys, my battery is flashing at me, so that means it is time to wrap this video up. If you picked up anything in this video and you've got thoughts about it, the Lisa Eldridge goodies or the Sonia G brushes, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. That might also help other people who might be thinking about making purchases. Are they good? What do other people think? Because, you know, everyone likes different things. So that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.